What I want to finish up on with these last couple of slides is to talk to you about the economic contribution of JCU to CAIRNS. You might sort of say, look, it's great we've got a university, isn't that good? You know, why shouldn't we have a university? I guess the thing I'd say is that if you look at where campuses of there are 40 universities in Australia, the majority of them are located in major urban areas. So the universities tend not to have a regional footprint. In fact, regional campuses in the last decade in Australian universities have been closing. The number of regional campuses is not growing, it's closing. Regional study centres are opening. You might have co-location with a TAFE, you might have an opportunity to work with a council, etc., as we do here. But in terms of regional campuses, they aren't growing in the number of them. So for us to have that capacity to grow our campus of our university here is important, but it needs to do more than that. It then needs to make an economic contribution. It needs to make an investment into the economy. And so what I want to end on is just to give you a sense of some work that was undertaken about 18 months ago, and I want to acknowledge Bill, who worked on some of that work in terms of the analysis from a CAIRNS perspective. JCU's value to the CAIRNS economy was estimated to be $86 million. Total investment of JCU into the north and the far north is about $540 million. So we're a $500 million enterprise across north and far north Queensland. Townsville is a bigger share, it's a bigger capacity, it has more students at this point. So we've made a contribution annually, $86 million to the CAIRNS economy. For every $1 million of expenditure on your university, it creates a further flow on of $1.18 million into the CAIRNS economy. So it's not just money that we then spend on ourselves, it's money which makes its way into the broader economy. JCU contributes about 1% to the total CAIRNS economy and a little under 1% of total employment at our current levels. The contribution in Townsville of the university is 3.5%. Now again, Townsville's got 40 years as a campus and engaging. We've got 21 years here, coming up onto 21 years. So, but the capacity for us to grow that and to increase the economic contribution into CAIRNS. JCU created what was estimated to be just over 1,000 equivalent full-time jobs into the CAIRNS economy. 300 of those were of our own employees, and then a further 700 were based on the contribution of the flow-on effect from the money generated by the university. The students, JCU students in 2008 spent $34 million in CAIRNS. The major components of that are accommodation and food. Although knowing students, there's also a fair bit of drink in there as well. JCU staff spent $17 million in 2008. Not much drink, we're quite behaved and restrained. The figures that were calculated, for every $1 million of student expenditure that takes place at the associated with the university, it creates 14.6 jobs into the CAIRNS economy. For every $1 million of capital expenditure of the university, it creates 12 jobs. Now you sort of might go, 12 jobs, you know, I'm not sure. And my sense is with unemployment in double digits, any job that's created in CAIRNS at the moment is an important job. But again, if you go back to those figures, our current capital developments of $60 million will, over the course of their time, contribute 720 jobs to CAIRNS. So you can see not only the attraction to us in building it, but you can see the attraction in earning hard-fought Commonwealth money because of the contribution that it can make. And the state needs to be acknowledged for their contribution in that as well, particularly in terms of the work that's been happening around the dental school. If we create that further $50 million of capital investment as part of the master plan, it will in turn create another 600 jobs. Now obviously you'll say, look, capital investment's great, but it's one-off. You know, the jobs come to an end and at some point in time, how does that sustain a diversified economy? Well, I guess it comes to the point that I sort of really want to end on, I suppose, is the sense that if we increase the campus from 4,000 students to the 5,000 students that we've set as a target and that we realistically believe, it will create, on the analysis that was done, 156 jobs ongoing, not one-off, ongoing jobs. If we double the campus to 8,000, which is the target that I want to propose to the university, I want us to have an ambitious target. I want us to have a realistic target. If we double to 8,000, we create in excess of 600 jobs on an ongoing basis in CAIRNS. Again, you might say, well, look, you know, with double-digit employment, yes, 12's great, 150's great, 600's great, but, you know, we need to invest further. So the sort of last slide on what I think is my contribution. If we grow the university to 5,000 students, and you look at it from a money perspective, how do we grow the CAIRNS economy to sustain and diversify it into the future? If we meet that target of 5,000 students, we can increase the annual economic contribution of the university by an extra 22 million to take it into a 100 million enterprise here. If we can attain the target of doubling the university to 8,000 students, then we'd increase the annual economic contribution of the university by an extra 86 million every year into the CAIRNS economy, being spent on businesses, activities, events, etc., that many of your businesses would benefit from. But the key message I guess I want to send to you is, if you grow the university, you can grow CAIRNS. If you want to diversify the CAIRNS economy into the future, which in the 3 months that I've been here, I've heard that message, then my request, plea, is help us grow and we'll help you grow. Now, I'm not saying just us. I think the presentation that Lynn made and that the council's undertaking in terms of the cultural precinct, again, is an exciting initiative and one that should be commended in terms of its ability to, again, diversify and grow the economy. Can I say it one more time? Grow the university and you grow CAIRNS. Two last points, if I can, and then I think I'm just coming up to my time. In July of this year, the 9th to the 13th of July, the 12th International Coral Reef Symposium will be held in Cairns. Now you might say, oh, what's that? You know, I'm not overly interested in that. Well, it's a world's foremost coral reef meeting. We're expecting that there'll be in excess of 2,500 delegates and attendees from 80 countries that on our analysis will make a 14 million direct contribution into the Cairns economy, but also will have a number of activities focusing on community engagement. In addition to that, in August of this year, the university will host in Cairns the 60th anniversary Fulbright Symposium. I'm sure many of you would know that the Fulbright Commission is a collaborative group, oh, it hasn't come up, sorry, between Australia and America. This was a hard-earned and competitively bid for symposium that is an invitation only to the preeminent thinkers in the US and Australia in the tropics and the challenge of the tropics. So the contribution that makes to our reputation globally, we think, is critical. Again, we expect that there'll be 250 delegates from 50 plus countries that in turn will make an injection of approximately 2 million into the Cairns economy. I hope that you've come away with a better sense of JCU. So thank you for coming and thanks for the Chamber.